What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? Welcome to Pride or Die. I'm what happens when you huff too many essential oils. Respawn. I'm joined by my co-hosts G and Ainsley. So two people so hot they could melt steel beams. How are you both today? You good? How are you, Ainsley?
Apparently I'm hot, so I'll take it.
Yeah, very hot. How are you, G?
Hot is apt, but like just in that it's like hella humid and
Humid.
unpleasant.
Moist.
I'm very
we have
moist today.
That's right. We've got two very, very special guests today. So I don't know if you are seeing this the same way I'm seeing this. On my right, we have Robo Strange of IFLC fame. How are you, Robo?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Oh, nice shirt, nice moustache, nice facial hair.
Just want to make sure it won't be in frame after this, but how dope is that?
I like it.
Yeah.
Looks great. Oh yeah, and our other very, very special guest, Blurred Without Fear, on my left here. How are you, Blurred? What's going on?
Wait, who's that guy? No, thank you for having me. I'm happy. I'm very happy.
Thanks
to
for
be
being
here.
here. Anyone that hasn't seen, by the way, like both of these dudes stream, and they're both really good at it. So if you haven't seen either of them, go check out their channel. We'll do some plugs at the end. But today we have a lot on the plate for discussion. We might even have a third special guest joining us shortly. We'll see. A surprise guest. So today we're going to talk about people of color in comics, and there's a lot to talk about because there's a lot that's been happening. So I'm just going to throw us into the deep end and start by talking about Milestone Comics. So for anyone that doesn't know, Milestone Comics was founded in 1993 by a coalition of African-American artists, writers, consisted of people like Dwayne McDuffie, RIP, Dennis Cowan, Michael Davis, Derek T. Dingle, and the founders observed that minorities still are severely underrepresented in American comics, and wished to address this. Their titles were published and distributed by DC Comics. One thing we might not talk about too much today is that there was an acquisition of some of those characters. So Static, along with like Icon, Rocket, Hardware, they were incorporated into the main DC universe. I encourage everyone that doesn't already know about this to do some reading on that acquisition because it's kind of fucked up and probably important to know about. And my battery is about to die, so I'm just going to check my connections real quick. So I'm plugged in, but welcome to the show. Oh my God, we got two special guests.
What up?
Who is that?
This is King. And
Hey.
he decided he wanted to be in the show, so.
Oh my God.
Please tell him I love him.
Hey, they say they love you.
Aw.
But right now, this is more about you than you know whatever we're talking about today.
You should have signed in as Cypher
This
and
is the
King.
show now.
Cypher, welcome to the show. Sorry, Cypher's late because I didn't send him a link, so it's not his fault. It's mine. But how are you, dude?
You're too nice. It's actually Robo's fault.
It's true. It's true. Let's be honest.
I'll take it.
I mean, you're the one who invited me. Like, hey man, make yourself available. I'm like, bet. And then I hit him up. We still doing this?
Hit me up 7 minutes ago. I'm saying,
Hey,
you know, he just remembered too. He was like,
hold on.
oh, shit, this thing's starting in 7 minutes. Let me pretend I was waiting the whole time.
Time out. Flag on play. King, hit me out. Don't you hit me up. Literally 15 minutes before any stream. Like, hey man, you want to be this IFLC stream real quick? Yeah, you free?
I done that to Blur Without Fear here. Like, at least 6 times. What are you doing like in 20 minutes?
Like, all right, yeah, I'm good.
Cypher, how are you? What's been going on with you? I've let everyone else have a little intro, so.
Oh yeah, my life is in shambles. That's about it.
Oh, yeah, can relate. Yeah.
Well, that's about right.
Yeah, quick intro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what's up? Super depressed, anxious, on medication.
What's going on, guys? It's Cypher here with the depression. What's going
on? So we were just talking about DC pinching characters from Milestone Comics, and one of those is Static Shock. So Static Shock You might have seen the Warner Brothers Static Shock cartoon series, which ran from 2000 to 2004. Shut up, we're ancient, don't judge us. That was a long time ago, I get it. Or read his solo title at the start of the New 52 reboot in 2011. He's also popped up in the Young Justice animated series. And most recently, we received a brand new series from Vita Ayala and Crisscross titled Static Season 1. So that's what I want to talk about right now. Ainsley, yes, hold it up. Yes.
Hey,
look at this.
Robo just showing everyone up.
Hey,
No,
Static Shock, okay? Hey, he's the biggest Static Shock fan right there.
Oh, so sweet. Oh my
Yeah.
god, we should just make
I'ma put a
Chris
shock in your
the
system.
center of it.
I'm just gonna stand like this.
So why don't we start with Ainsley? Ainsley, what did you think of this comic?
Oh, so you all know that I am just a slavering, brainless Vita Ayala fan. That every single thing that they have done since Prisoner X was the first book that I ever read that they did, and I have just been hooked ever since. Everything they write just leaves me wanting more at the end. So I get to the end of the issue, and I'm so hooked. I'm already totally invested in the characters, in the story, in the setting. The art is gorgeous. Oh,
Stay gorgeous one more
God.
time,
Right?
please.
Gorgeous.
I didn't even know it had that many syllables.
So I loved it. Great start. Couldn't ask for more.
Nice. What about you, G? What'd you think?
This is one of those that, like, I wish I was very rarely do I wish I was reading a comic digitally, and I wish I was reading this one on my phone because, like, I want it to flow. It reads like I'm reading an animated series. Like, how quickly can you voice act this and give it to me on my TV?
Yes.
Question: do I call you G Money or just G?
You know, whatever
Okay.
feels better. Just it's
Ah.
between you and your God.
All right. Well,
I like
I believe-
G Money, me personally.
I believe in Jesus. Jesus, hey, Jesus Lamar Christ is my dude.
That's what the L stands for. I had no idea.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jesus
wow.
Lamar Christ.
Learn something new every day. Robo, what'd you think? I was about to call you George. Sorry. What?
Jorge.
No government names here. Not Jorge. No. There it is. Yeah.
Come on,
That's a
Georgie.
joke. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought the art was dope. There was something that kind of annoyed me a little bit in there, but I don't know if we're gonna do like pros and cons. But overall, awesome start. There was just one little thing. Just one.
You
No,
have to
tell me.
say
I'm
now.
desperate
What was
to
it?
know. Yeah. What was it?
Say it.
I didn't like the fight scene at the end.
I was gonna say, keep the shirt you have in mind.
Yeah, I didn't like the fight scene. I didn't like the fight scene. I thought it was dope, but it was like,
I think you're gonna have to explain like why.
yeah. Well, I'm just
Like,
gonna keep
I
saying
hated
I don't
people,
like the
and I
fight
don't-
scene, and I'm just gonna keep just leaving it at that. And then when people ask me why, I'm like, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I'm just kidding. No.
Hey, man.
So I'm watching it. So the way that I read comic books is that they kind of just play in my head like a movie. And so when I'm sitting there and I'm watching them fight, there was this point where he's like, he's hot, but not enough to cause burns. I'm like, dude is on fire. Like a match can cause 30 degrees. You're on fire, guy. And then the scene was super tight. So like they're doing this like anime Goku super fights. And the very next panel, his mom and dad and his sisters are cowering like 2 feet from him during the whole fight. I'm just like, they're all doing this like right there. Like, how come they don't run away? That was the only thing. Super petty. I know.
Do you like anime?
I love anime. I love
Okay.
anime.
So in
It
anime,
felt really
fire
anime.
doesn't
Yeah.
burn anybody, right? Fire is just an aesthetic.
Yeah,
an
but this is
aesthetic
not
choice.
anime though. I feel you. You're
And-
right.
And in anime, doesn't matter how big the explosion is, it can have the same yield as a nuke. Any bystanders are safe, unless the plot says they're not.
But no bystander
Watch
just
Pokemon.
stays there. Like no bystander
Have you not
stays
seen
there
Pokemon?
for 3 pages going like this.
Again,
Like,
have
but-
you seen Pokemon? Hey, in Pokemon, those Pokemon be murking each other, right? And everybody's cowering. Nobody gets electrocuted by the mouse with enough bolt to power up a whole city.
Hyper Beam is
then
legit.
I would have the same critique of that too. I'm just saying, like that's the only critique I have. In
Hey,
this,
they don't
in
hate
this
that one
comic
too.
in this comic book that's not an anime, I didn't like that his family stayed 2 feet from the fight the whole time.
Hey,
Like, run, go
They were
somewhere.
just worried about him. Jeez.
That was another thing. So they expressed their worried. So I'm imagining this like, and then like the next frame is like, hold on. Yeah, without. And then the very next frame, his dad's like on his shoulder, like if there was a ding, 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 and the dad's in his corner and shit. Dad's like, "Hey, you're doing really good out there." And I'm like, "Why? He's still right there?"
Like, get
Can
out!
I just say, I love the issue. It was super dope.
Yeah,
By the way,
I loved it. But the most exciting climatic part.
You guys made me take way too much time on explaining why I didn't like it. Is 98% loved it. That was 2%. You guys just made me spend 98% on it.
This is the same person that loved the Mortal Kombat movie, so take his word with a grain
I
of salt.
liked it. I didn't say I loved it.
I liked
Mortal
it too.
Kombat was camp and it was fun and it
Auntie.
was stupid,
Thank you.
and
Ainsley.
that's why I loved it.
Thank you.
Hey, Auntie, he don't like you no more.
Oh no.
Heartbroken.
He's telling me right now, like, "Hey, bro, you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
I'm gonna have to sort this screen into like one side for Mortal Kombat and one side for against. Okay, so what about you, Blood? Like, what do you think about Static Shock as a character? Have you read this new issue? Are you interested to? Like, what are your thoughts?
I read it and I loved it. The differences that Vita did with I guess taking the original story and kind of making it their own, not really, I mean, yeah, following some of the same beats, but Vita did enough to where like the story became their own. It wasn't, this is like exactly like the old school original 1993 Static #1, blah 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 blah, whoop de woo. No, it's different. It's a different setup. It's different different layout of things. The dynamics between the characters are shifted some. I will say that I did appreciate, I guess since Robo talked about the fight scene and what he didn't like about it, I'll talk about what I did like about it to kind of balance it out. And it was that in the original comic, spoilers for a 20, 30 plus year old comic, whatever. But in the original comic, Static is getting bullied by this guy in the regular. I mean, he is getting bullied in this one as well, but in the original one, even when he has superpowers, he still cowers in fear to this kid that is like constantly in a very casually racist way bullies him. Like there's some, you go back and read the original, there's some casual racism that Hot Streak just kind of throws around that you're just kind of like, oh man, dude, yeah, I was like, to beat this kid, to beat him down.
Casual racism in the 90s?
What?
Yeah, man. I never experienced that.
Back before there was so much division. So.
Right?
No,
wait a minute.
Can we go back on the
play.
days?
This is too woke.
Yeah,
can we go back to the days when we didn't have all these
this
agendas?
ain't one of them SJW shows now, is it?
God damn. hey, guys. Zero agendas, okay? I hate the agendas.
The agenda.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to give me a message?
Oh no!
Hey, can you please stop imposing your lifestyle on me and my dog? God. By the way, I got some Jehovah's Witnesses on my door. They want to convert me. Be right back.
I just want to say I'm fine with people being black, but just like don't put it in my face. You know what I mean?
Just kind of.
Just like
I don't need it shoved down my throat.
That's right.
By the way, this is not.
Do you have to be that black?
That's right.
But here's the thing, though. Before you get mad at me, I have a bunch of black friends back home.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
You know what?
I'm just telling like it is.
That is.
I'm the
Yeah,
least
my
racist
best
person.
friend, cat sitter's dentist, is black, so
That's
I
right.
can't be racist.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
let a black person in my
I've
house.
met a
today.
black person once.
I had a black person in my house today. By the way, you guys are making these jokes, but I bring up you three anytime somebody wants to call me homophobic. I'm like, actually, you want to see my messages right now?
First of
Which
all,
never happens, by the way.
I
Nobody
can
ever
get a
calls me
queer person
homophobic.
on the phone right now.
Yeah.
And you guys would
Sorry,
be
bud.
super confused. I'm all Facebook calling you like, hey, Ainsley, you there? You're like, yeah? Why
Is
why
that
are
is
you
that
calling
what you
me?
is,
Can you tell this person that I'm not homophobic?
is that what you called him when we hung out?
I'm gonna
I didn't
hang up
say
now.
he was gay. I just said that Brokeback Mountain was extremely gay. That wasn't homophobic.
I mean,
It was a good plot. I mean, like,
kind of.
Wait, that movie
You're
was
gay.
gay?
No, okay, when I said it was gay, not in the 90s way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do you have to make everything gay? Like, that was just a beautiful movie about two strong Western men
That's right.
Who
who
Pals.
Hey,
appreciated each
boys
other's
being
company.
pals.
Yeah.
Just normalize platonic butt fucking. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just like, hey, man, it's just your buddies.
I support that message.
yeah. G Money would be like,
Yes,
no, but for real.
But for real, you should try butt stuff with your friends.
I was gonna say, do not knock butt stuff until you try butt stuff.
If you can't try
Okay.
butt stuff with
Ainsley
your friends,
2021.
who can
Okay,
you
look.
try it with?
No, it's true though. But however, Robo just came at me too strong, bro. Like
You gotta lesson learned. Lesson learned. Hey,
let me get out the shower.
bringing
Let me
this-
get out the shower though. Like, just let me. I think
Hey,
we're
bringing
gonna
this
see the
back
visit.
on track. Bringing this back on track. Okay, Ernie. Hey, real quick. Unless you wanted to like get on the bit went really long. Do you have one more? No?
I was just gonna say that being gay is just hanging out with your buddies.
That's right. That's
I mean,
right.
you just,
That's
you
all it
know,
is.
that's all it is. And maybe occasionally you play some PlayStation with each other. You go play basketball or go to the mall. You go get something to eat, and then maybe put it in
Put it
one
in the
button,
butt.
and put it in the other.
Who else
It's
am I gonna?
2021.
Who
Yeah.
else am I gonna watch?
Yeah.
Project Runway with. I mean,
That's
like,
right.
I mean, look, I'm just saying. I mean, I really like. I need someone to hold me while I watch Pose, and
Yeah,
and I
that's
cry because that show gets really emotional for me.
It's
I need a
really
support
emotional.
system, and
Yep.
I need someone
I heard
who
it was really
understands
good
me.
for real.
hey, Ernie,
It is.
It's
No, it's a
amazing.
legit
Yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Legitimately good show.
completely
I
I
unrelated.
cry every single episode,
Yep.
but it's
Same.
so good.
Okay, completely
Sorry,
unrelated.
Cypher. Go.
Do you guys see the pic with me and Blurred casually holding each other?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I was super jealous.
Picture.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See,
And I had like a super passive aggressive, like, haha, so happy for you guys.
yeah, it's crazy how he said that passive aggressively on Twitter, but privately he goes like, "Oh, yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool."
That's cool.
I get it.
Oh.
I get it.
It's like that
I'm
now, huh?
slacking.
Hey, but
Hey,
for real,
like that.
but for real, this is attempt number 2 to bring this back on track.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
blood.
I do want to say something real quick. Sorry, when you were talking about what you liked about the fight, and and then when you brought up the fact that he finally just got back at him, I gotta agree with you because
Yeah.
what is super irritating, especially in pop culture, you see it in TV. I saw it in Family Matters. I saw it in Fresh Prince, where like black and brown people are always expected to be. You got to be the better one, right?
The bigger
And what that
person,
means
right.
is just be bullied. Like, you know what? And Winslow's gonna be like, you did the right thing, and it's like, nah, fuck that. Like sometimes, just knock that
No.
motherfucker
Oh, no.
out. Yeah.
Oh no, that's what I loved about it is that in
Yeah.
the first couple of pages, he's already beat the like matter of fact, even in the Zero issue, he had already beat
Yeah.
the sweet tea out of Hot Streak. I was
That's
like,
right.
all right, cool, let's go. I was like, all right, cool, he's done.
Sometimes you just need to beat
It's
the
a
shit
wrap.
out of somebody.
Hey,
Yeah.
does Ashley still look
Yeah.
like somebody who tried out for the for the old school NSYNC and didn't make the cut? Come on, in the '90s, he looked like if Justin and
That's
Vanilla
a
Ice
perfect.
just had a kid.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that's a perfect
Platonically.
explanation. Yeah, that's perfect. Blood, I want to know. So I'll throw it over to Cypher in a sec. But Blood, I want to know what you want to see in future issues. Like, where do you want to see it go?
Honestly, so in the original comics, Static was already just kind of static. Well, he didn't really He
Right,
grew,
that's
but
a
like
shot.
he was already there. You know, he was like, I'm already a superhero. I'm already doing stuff. I kind of want to see him grow. I want to see that growth period from where he's getting those powers to growing to becoming the hero because that we kind of expect of him to be. And I actually, even though this wasn't as big of a thing early on in the original comics, I know that there's some teases that Hardware will probably factor in a little more in this comic. I kind of want to see a little bit more of that if it's still on the table. And I kind of want to see a little more Rocket sneaking into his into his orbit. I want to see a little more Rocket kind of sliding in the DMs. You're like, hey, big head, what you doing? Something stupid like that. Is what people do.
You
But,
up?
They're like, hey, what
Rocket
you
is my
doing?
girl.
Yeah.
Look, just send you a text that says WYD. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Hey, you up?
That's it. You up?
Oh my god, that was so buttery smooth.
I was. You just shocked me last night with your physical prowess.
So real talk, like I didn't know because I'm old, right? So I think I missed that phase of.
Damn.
You don't have to say it every time.
Let's see. All right, so check this out.
Hey, real quick. You may have seen a dislike. I think that's just
It was glitch.
I apologize in advance.
So check this out. So I think I missed in the dating game, like the whole you up thing. And the idea of you up, like, hey, what are you doing right now? Or hey, you still awake? You want me to swing? I'll come through was big, right? But you up, just like that. I missed that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I'm friends with old Cypher here, who's much younger than me, and I would text him, and I'll be texting him like it'll be late as fuck, like 2 in the morning, and I'll hit him up and be like, "You up?" And he's like, "For real?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, are you trying to like spit game right now or what? I'm like, what? He had to, so Cypher had to teach me what you up means.
No, but okay, again, it's also timing though, right? Because he always hit me up with like you up, like after it's really like fuckboy behavior. So we will text earlier, right? Like planning whatever, like yo, want to play something, this and that. Then he does what Robert does and never texts me back. And then he'll wait till 2 in the morning, like a true fuckboy when he needs me, and he'd be like, hey, you up? And my dumb ass, I could be like, this is exactly me. Don't give him the satisfaction.
Yep.
No.
I'm already in bed. I'm not getting up.
No. What do you want, Robo? What do you want, Robo? I can't. I want my dog. Hey, just get on DVD real quick. And it's all to you.
We need one more.
Come on.
So G's already come back to this in the chat, but Danny's asking, what do you all think about the character design updates? Is that what kids dress like nowadays? Because that's dope. I don't know what kids dress like.
The answer is yes.
But
I want to say something. I got to say something about this. I am so excited that they mostly kept Rocket's costume because the brown leather jacket with the sleeves rolled up, oh my God, makes me so happy. I love it.
Yes.
It's like the best 90s jacket.
Exactly. Yes. And
like I didn't like many other characters with the 90s jacket, but I always liked Rocket because Rocket, like it was something that like Rocket would do, where like I could always tell that any second she would come out of that jacket and just start like beating the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I was gonna say what he brought up. That's the answer is yes, and I was actually gonna say like. When you look at old dude's sister, when you look at their hair, when you look at what they're wearing, that's one thing. It was like you could tell a person of color. More specifically, you could tell a black person made the character design for this. It wasn't just the standard Nintendo 64 cartridge hairline, like like.
The hair was gorgeous.
Yeah,
all the hair was gorgeous.
Yo, can we just like have a notification sound where Ainsley just saying gorgeous?
Yeah, that's right.
Bruh.
I like it. I
God,
like it.
If this were Twitch,
like
it'd be like an anime of Ainsley with starry eyes, like gorgeous.
I was like, God damn, Cruella, say it again. Well,
Cruella. Oh my god.
it
I
was
want to
just-
jump on what Robo was saying before about, you know how there is that expectation in media for like it's the same, I guess, for any minority, but like they're expected to take the high road in all that bullshit, like even though they're the ones getting shat on all the time. So good example, tangent, is in True Blood when you first meet Lafayette and he's like a black queer in the South, like chef, and some dude walks in and he's like, the waitress takes his burger back that he makes, and she's like all nervous and doesn't want to tell him why, and she's like, he says he doesn't want the burger with AIDS, and so he like takes the burger back and he's like, who ordered this burger with AIDS, and like flops it on the table and then beats the shit out of them, like punches them in the jaw. It is so satisfying. I want to see more of that shit too. I want to see racists getting punched. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Hashtag punch Nazis in the face.
Punch a
For
Nazi.
some
Yeah.
reason, racists have gotten the idea that like we're supposed to tolerate their racism, and like I don't know who told you that because no one ever said that.
We
was...
don't have to
Okay, actually,
tolerate
no.
intolerance.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
I actually have an answer for that, and it's a little controversial. It's all the damn pacifists we had in history that got killed for the message, right? They always took the high road. They always got attacked.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Especially, Lamar got the worst end. Jesus Lamar got the worst of it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's like, hey.
The mortality rate for pacifists historically is not great. Just saying.
Ironically enough, it's the one the racist says, like, man, what would Dr. King do? Like, what, before or after they shot him?
Right.
Right.
Probably
Yeah.
tell you you're mediocre as fuck. Read more of his work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
every time, it's always these historical characters, these pacifists that have been used as an example to why you should tolerate the disrespect, right? But you know what I mean, Mr. X didn't get, never gets quoted or nothing, you know what I'm saying, because he wasn't taking no shit. Neither is Muhammad Ali. But my point is that slap the taste out of their mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might not make it to the history books, but you won't get shot.
No.
That's right.
Unless it's law enforcement.
Just a real quick piggyback to that though is plenty of people did slap the taste out of their mouth. They're just not put in history books.
That's exactly what I said.
Well, they get kicked to the side.
That's
We
right.
don't want to talk
we
about
don't,
this.
we don't want to hear
There's
that one.
definitely a reason that we learn a lot about Martin Luther King and almost nothing about Malcolm X.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
a very
Right.
and it's because he had a fucking point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
true.
Look at Magneto and Charles Xavier. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason why Xavier's in a wheelchair talking all that shit from a distance. You know what I'm saying?
Look, being a jerk.
No,
Being a jerk to Kitty Pride.
I'm saying though, like, hey, yo,
It depends
Wolverine,
which
take the high
version of
road.
that. If we're talking Professor X, there's that whole like problematic fucking relationship he's got with Jean. Like, if you want to, yeah. Anyway,
I mean,
Don't get me started.
Yup.
So back on Milestone.
yeah,
You know what?
Okay,
where the father figures are not trying to have sex with their
Hell
Yeah.
what a tagline.
hey, time out.
Gee.
All I'm saying is, I'm not really a comic book reader anymore. So I didn't know that. So
So G and I were talking earlier about how and I don't know if you want to touch on this, but I really liked the thought
Touch
that
it.
you had regarding regarding Rocket reacting with kind of like mild horror that someone might suggest
Right.
that she was sleeping with a 200-year-old alien
Oh,
who is also her mentor.
wait,
Yeah.
are we still
I
talking
just-
about the bald dude? The bald dude in the
We were talking
wheelchair?
about Icon and Rocket.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was like, yo, Charles Xavier in a wheelchair is clapping cheeks.
I mean, he did have Legion.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
You know.
white people. Keep going.
White people.
I mean, you're gonna get one right? You gotta get one. You gotta get you're bound to get, yeah.
That's it. Okay, so last year in October, The Michael B. Jordan, who is a fan favorite in the IFLC Facebook groups, Michael B. Jordan, so hot, will produce a Static Shock movie through his Outlier Society production company. According to THR, Randy McKinnon, who co-wrote the football drama Safety, has been brought aboard to write the movie. And Reginald Hudlin, who directed the Safety Disney Plus movie, is going to produce it alongside MBJ. He's also written a ton of comics, Hudlin. So...
Black Panther.
Yeah, and the intention is to launch a cinematic universe focused on Black superheroes. So I want us to talk about this because it's 2021. We have one Black superhero movie in like the current MCU. I know, like, I was going to say, like, Blade was so financially successful that it basically spawned the MCU, right? That was decades ago.
Spawn.
What?
There's another one.
Spawn, yeah.
it almost killed the genre.
Yeah, well, like, why the fuck do we have like one Black super? Why is that the case? I don't know who wants to jump in on this
Because
first.
we have a lot of white executives.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
What do you think, Cypher?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm just tired of the Black superheroes having black in the name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Black Lightning.
Interesting thing. There's a tag on YouTube that I found when I was making videos for character breakdowns. There's a tag that if you start typing in Black superheroes, and it'll auto fill in, and it says Black superheroes without black in their name. Black superheroes without lightning power.
Without electric power.
Holy shit.
It's real.
It's real, though. It's a thing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones where I'm like, I can't figure it out. Like, there's a lot of stuff to where you can, like, if you dig or if you dig into the history or you think long enough about it, you can go, that's why they're doing that shit, right? Like,
I have a theory.
Oh, tell me.
Ooh.
My theory is that the reason that white people are so like high above financially and all that shit statistically is because Black people generate all the power, and so this is a actual representation of them generating power.
Hey, hold on, time out, hold on. Robo, let me put this in so you may understand, right? Hey, Black people are refusing to do a new TikTok dance for that new Megan Thee Stallion song.
Yep.
So white people don't
Love it.
You know what I mean? Don't what's it called? Profit off of it.
Quick background, quick context. In quick context, on TikTok, there's a thing that's been happening for like the last years where anytime there's a trend on TikTok, Black people, especially Black women, will come on, do a dance to it, but at the top of the sound, right? So you use the sound, you do the same dance to it. At the top of the sound, it's only white people because they'll take that sound. So then Megan Thee Stallion comes out with a new song, and the trend right now is like, and then it spread, and it actually worked. And I'm like, somebody's gonna ignore it. Nope, they didn't. Black people were like, we're not doing a sound dance to this, and white people came up with the worst dances, and then it became a trend. I'm like, let's see what white people come up when they have to think of their own dances.
And
that's
it's
what he's talking about.
cringy. It's
bad. It's bad.
But it's right. Generating power, lightning. See, I get the metaphor. Like we right here. Right here.
I'll throw you with as far as like we don't have a lot of Black executives in Hollywood. Like Tyler Perry, say what you will about his body of work as a whole. Like, he is probably the only person right now that has anything close to what Black people should have already had 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago in Hollywood. Having a production studio, making efforts to try and get more Black people, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera. We also, another huge problem we have is that people don't believe that the Black dollar is strong enough to carry a movie, which is why it took actually, as a matter of fact, originally the Black Panther movie was supposed to be made back in the early 90s. And that's why it didn't get made until 2016. But executives often said that, Black people won't go see it. Black people don't go to the movies. They just bootleg them. And then Black Panther comes out, and it's one of the few Marvel movies that's not, that doesn't have Avengers in the title, that made over $1 billion. And it's like, well, no, Black people will, like case in point, Lovecraft Country, HBO Max numbers through the roof now, because if you make something that Black people care about, they will go watch it. Watchmen proved that. Lovecraft Country proved it. Blade. Lots of people went to go see Blade, not even realizing it was a comic book movie. They found out it was kind of like a bait and switch. They're like, wait a minute, this is vampires. Wait a minute. wait, this is a dude that was on Spider-Man?
Yeah, those people are stupid.
What do they mean, Morbius?
Those are all really good points. Here's my question to you, Backblurred. Like, why did they not try and test it? So the original Avengers movies, why did we not get any like people of color as Avengers in the original, like in the first two? There were no people of color as Avengers. Why?
Honestly,
why?
Well,
I think that had a lot to do with the fact that you had some people in place at Marvel, and you screw it. I'm gonna call names. Ike Perlmutter.
yeah, I know him personally.
You had cats like Ike Perlmutter, known Trump supporter, known racist, known misogynist. I'm not saying allegedly because it's all true. The guy
showrunner for Netflix, right?
Well, not just that. He was the guy who technically was in charge before Kevin Feige. Like Kevin Feige used to work for Ike Perlmutter. And I remember reading an interview where Kevin Feige was actually talking about the fact that the reason why it took so long to get Captain Marvel and Black Panther was for that very reason. It was Ike Perlmutter. He didn't believe that Black people would go see a movie about a Black superhero and that white audiences wouldn't care about a Black superhero. And he felt that no one would want to go see a movie about a female superhero. Which is why we didn't get Captain like literally, and it you can actually see the changing of the guard. Like when Kevin Feige stepped up and became the guy at Marvel Studios, that was when you started saying, "Oh, well, we're making Captain Marvel. Oh, we're making Black Panther. Oh, we're making this." Meanwhile, Ike Perlmutter, he was more interested in making dumb things like the Inhumans. But no.
Good, though.
Oh, it was so it was so good that it's not here anymore.
It's been forever immortalized.
I mean, look, Lockjaw was cool. That's all I'll say. But
That's his favorite character.
Lockjaw is cool.
yeah, Lockjaw was cool. That's it.
Lockjaw is the best.
We don't
like,
watch
oh my
it for
God,
anything else.
We got some representation, King.
Yes.
See, we got puppy representation in the MCU. We've got Black representation. We're getting somewhere, okay, people. We're getting somewhere. But no, I just feel like the people who were in charge, the people who were the powers that be, they felt that marginalized groups, minorities, whatever, any kind of group that can be seen as not classified as your white cis, straight male or female character, they felt that wasn't marketable. But the thing is, it is marketable because all of these groups have money, and we're proving that we buy these things. You just have to speak to us in a way that isn't condescending.
Okay, so let me ask this question though, right? Because not disagreeing with you or anything, but but also like growing up, being melanin blessed, among other melanated people, enjoying this type of entertainment when it comes down to comic books, superhero based stuff, anime. We were it was not something that was like, I want to say celebrated, but you will get roasted, like, so you think that's because like Marvel or any big studios wasn't putting out the the representation for us to be like, you know what, I fucks with Black Panther, or is it you think also in our own community we need to stop like pressing on our on the things that we like because we've been told that we're supposed to like, for lack of a better term, and I'm quoting that famous rapper, the littlest of wings, money, pussy, weed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the shit like that gets pushed to us in the school. Like that's what we're supposed to like. That's what we're supposed to do, type thing. So when you bring up a character, like the Black Panther, and back in let's say 2006, and they'd be like, "Hey, big budget Marvel movie with a Black character, very popular in the comic book community." Do you think with that mentality, not so much now, because 2021, people have been opening up to the things they like, but back then when we a lot of us, and I'm speaking, this is like my dumbass teenage self when I was trying to have my rap career take off in MySpace. Do you think that would appeal to somebody like me?
Well,
I bet.
Yeah.
I would think so, but the thing is, it has to be authentic, and I
Yes.
think that's the problem that we didn't. A lot of the things we had back then, they weren't authentic because you didn't have the people who actually could voice the the thing that makes it feel real. It's kind of like for me, as a black person, if you're trying to sell me on the idea of a black superhero, then I don't want Steven Spielberg directing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how good he is, I don't want James Cameron coming along and be like, "Hey, I'm making a movie about the black experience." No, you keep that. I would feel the same way, and this is speaking just even as a black person, I would feel the same way if someone came to me saying, "Hey, we're gonna do a movie about Midnighter." A gay superhero. We're going to do the Midnighter and Apollo movie, but it's going to be directed by like literally the straightest man.
Michael Bay.
Right. It's like
Oh my
Michael
God.
Bay is
Shut
coming in.
your
Hold
mouth.
on. Hold on. Come on.
I don't
That
want
was
to
real,
think
though. That was-
Actually, run it back.
Can I say something, though?
Erase that.
I wouldn't want that to happen, but part of me, a very toxic part of me, kind of curious to see how that would turn out.
Yeah, when it comes to
Like,
finding
Hey,
out,
hey, we got this
Very toxic point
covered.com.
of view wants it. It should be Zack Snyder.
Like,
Look.
I feel like, okay, look, I know it's gonna be an abomination. Hell, we seen Transformers and the Ninja Turtles. You know what I'm saying, bro? That would be one of those type of disasters that you'd be like, okay, the apocalypse. And me, I read the Bible constantly. I was like, this is definitely one of the omens right here.
Oh my God.
Hey, everybody,
Still.
can we zoom in Robo's face right now?
Hey, so we
He
got
told me
discovered.com.
Jesus.
We got discovery.com said it's in the works.
Yeah.
Secret source told them it's in the works. Just so
Dude,
you
I
know.
believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it. Because you know
So-
why? Because we
okay.
got this covered, said it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got discovery.com shared.
Yeah.
It's done.
They shared
So, I want to tag a little bit more on that what you said about the black dollar. That is true, right? Like
Mhm.
discounting the black dollar. But I think it's a little bit worse than that.
Mhm.
Speculation, but it's a little bit even more sinister than that.
Okay.
I
I
think-
believe you. I believe you.
I think it's less about discounting the black dollar and more about white supremacy in general. Not wanting to lose the white dollar, not wanting to project and go, you know what? I don't want to watch them as that. And I know there's like we're in 2021, so right now to those people, it's worse to be called a racist than to be a racist, right? You were alluding to that earlier, G.
Yeah.
It's like I think like you're not putting black people on the black and brown people on the screen, not because it won't make money, but because you don't want us there. Period. Done.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay.
I need to give a shout out to a really great book by Isabel Wilkerson called Cast. You should read it because you will not look at America the same way again.
Cast.
Cast.
I thought it was
Okay.
Cats. Like I saw the musical.
No,
Half
not
with
that.
an E. So like what she does is she compares America to India's caste system, and like if everything
Oh, with the E.
in this
Got it.
country comes back to like this caste system, and I think that's why you don't get a movie like Black Panther, because
Hey.
heaven forbid you show a
Take it
black
down, you
man
can't come back in.
as royalty or
That's
above
right.
other people, as better than Captain America, which canonically T'Challa is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
That's why you get someone like Rhodey first, who is subservient to
That's how
Tony,
character, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's maintaining the caste system.
Well, that was a huge thing. Remember when Black Panther was even being introduced in the first place?
Oh, the
Show
what?
his face.
People were
KKK?
already getting upset. They were like, "What do you mean he's richer than Tony Stark?" Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even going as far as the Asgardians.
That's
What do
right.
you mean? There's a black Asgardian?
Uh-huh.
Right?
What?
Yeah.
My favorite thing was people complaining about Hogan, who is traditionally in the actual Norse mythology Mongolian. Like,
Do you ever tell
Yeah.
on yourself
Yeah.
so hard?
But you know what's crazy though? I'm glad you brought that up though, because if we're gonna go, not even just in fiction or any type of entertainment, is that right now we are like unlearning a lot of things that we got fed into. Like for example, I was shocked to find out that Vikings were not all fucking crystal
Like
clear.
blonde
You know
hair,
what I mean? Transparent.
blue
Yeah, I'm
eyed.
saying. Like I'm over here like learning about this, and I'm over here like, hold on, time out.
Vikings fucked way too much to be just white.
That's
Right.
what
Yeah.
but it makes sense once I put two and two together and the sodomy. But my point, I was like, holy shit, like why didn't I thought about this, right? Like, and then as we progress, I mean, like there's a popular meme going on, right? Which it's like, oh, this is what your 7th grade history book looked like, and it's like this Egyptian sphinx, with a bunch of shit drawn on it. But I'm over here like we're focused on the wrong thing. This dude looks like fucking Tom from accounting and some magician gear, and they legit try to tell us, hey, this is what the ancient Egyptians look like, bro. I'm like, word.
That
And
Bring
one
it back
painting
to
of
your
Jesus.
boy.
Yes,
Jesus. Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. Like Jesus was definitely black. Sorry,
Je-
conservatives.
He didn't
His
look
name
like
is
Michael
Jesus.
Bolton.
Hey, Zeus
Like,
Ramon.
he probably looked more like my Jewish great grandfather than that blonde guy
Yeah.
that must have sat for that painting.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like, so going back to what Blur said about like being authentic, I'm gonna go. One of my favorite things that I would have loved to see as a kid, right? So when Spider-Man Miles Morales for the PS4, or for us superior people, PS5s, yeah, like in the beginning scene when you start in Harlem. I remember it took me like half an hour to even start the first mission because I'm just walking down the street to all the bodegas and everybody's speaking genuine Spanish. And into the Spider-Verse, when Miles talks, he talks like a Latinx, Afro Latino. He's talking in Spanish to his mom. But Spanglish. He's talking in English to everybody, and it feels so natural. The music in the background, the ambiance. And I'm over here thinking like, yo, y'all remember how Friends, How I Met Your Mother, all these shows that took part in New York, and not one melanated person around. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, it's New York. You know what I'm saying? White people are
Dude,
like,
It was legit shocking when I went to New York because I grew up on Friends and Mad About You, and, like the nanny and shit. And I went to New York and was like,
British people in the nanny.
I'd been to Minneapolis, but like, I was still a kid and my mom didn't let me go because she was literally white slavers. If you go to Minneapolis, you'll get kidnapped by white slavers.
Not the white slavers.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Not the white slavers.
Not the white slavers. But yeah, like that I went to New York and was just like, I felt like Ray. Like I haven't seen this many black people in the entire universe.
Yeah.
And not just black people, colors of all kinds.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's
Hey,
right.
I want to talk about this comment from Danny because I think this is a common thing, right? I was shocked to find out that the Tulsa Massacre portrayed in Watchmen was a real thing that actually happened. Lots of people have said the same thing, that they had no idea about Tulsa until it was portrayed in Watchmen, right?
Mhm.
Or Lovecraft was the other one where
I
think
was
they
over 30 before I heard anything about the Tulsa Massacre. They don't
You wanna hear
teach it.
something
They don't
fucked
teach
up?
it
No,
in schools
they
at
don't.
all.
You want to hear something
They
fucked
only
up?
just now started in Tulsa, not even across the country,
That's
but
right. That's
just
right.
in Tulsa. They
No, they
just
stopped.
now. Oh, they stopped.
No, that's
Oh,
what I'm
because
saying. Fun
of the
fact.
critical race theory.
Yep, they stopped. So the Tulsa. So when I found that shit out when I was living in. Hold your judgment. It wasn't by choice. I was living in Oklahoma City, right? And then yeah. I'm saying I was among the whites, and I found out about the Tulsa Massacre, right? And I'm like, holy shit, I ain't learned this shit in school. But then I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, typical. That's all that shit I'm learning now. So when I say like, are they teaching it in schools, right? Well, a lot of schools were teaching it, and it was technically against the law because they haven't gotten approved by the board of the
Education.
school. Yeah, that one, right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of teachers were doing it kind of like, they were being roguelikes about like, you know what, fuck yeah, I'm gonna teach you about the white man, right? And then as it progressed, teachers were losing jobs. That wasn't televised, or they were losing jobs. There were some people trying to get their tenures revoked, and it went as far that when Tulsa says like, you know what, at least we're gonna teach it because we're trying to do better. The state came down. It's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Because critical race theory.
Like,
It's
what
the
fuck are you
same
so
shit.
Scared of?
Yeah, like all of us went through this in school, however long it was ago that we were all there, like being taught
It was like
that,
last
you know,
week for me. I
Columbus
don't know about you guys.
discovered America, you know, like that's the shit that we were all taught.
But yeah, okay, but you know,
He found it.
That's right. He
Right?
found it.
you know what's
Until,
crazy though?
like, someone asked,
It was
like,
just
hey,
sitting
Vikings,
there.
what were you doing, like, 200 years earlier? And they're like, I don't know, just hanging out on this big America-shaped
That's right.
continent.
Wait, sorry, what'd you
all
say?
these chicks were going unclapped by the Vikings, not the American
Like,
chicks.
right?
Not
They didn't
American
even
chicks.
find him.
Yeah, like,
But funny, the
you know-
thing about Watchmen, my wife, who is a white woman, is sitting next to me watching the season premiere of the show, and she legitimately. Is this a
like
puppy
Tulsa
on?
Massacre and shit. Like,
Is this a puppy on? Honestly, I think you should
we
have
always talk about the Tulsa Massacre to bring you.
Well, no, I think you
Yeah,
should
we
actually look
need
at puppies because it
puppies.
kind of like it helps you. It's gonna help you absorb the pain and
Yeah.
not just like you
Yeah.
know fester in you. But no, my wife like literally, she was sitting next to me while we're watching the season premiere Watchmen when it debuted, and I noticed that my mother was with us as well at the time, and we're watching. Me and my mom, we're kind of watching. We're just like, whew, yep. This was some shit. And my wife was like when I looked over at her, she was like, what the fuck is this? And like I noticed, like just throughout the show, she was just Googling, and by the time the show was over, we were kind of talking about our thoughts about it. She was like, I never knew this was. I thought that was just made up. She was like, this is real, and I was like. And like just and then what broke her heart even more is when I was like, I said, honestly, Tulsa's not the only one. I was like, people never talk about Wilmington. They don't talk about Rosewood. They don't talk about any of the other instances where similar things.
Which, by the way, I didn't know
don't
about
know
either of those.
Yep.
Yeah, until people started talking about Tulsa from these shows. I didn't know about either of those either.
What was it? Detroit that got bombed? They threw the little freaking explosives from the helicopters.
I think Atlanta had something going too. I
was about to say, we never talk about Georgia because Georgia has at least Atlanta is the biggest one, but we have several cities that got royally unplatonically
from the air. Like planes were like just recently invented, and they had already used it to drop little explosives out of the plane.
I want to go back to a point that we were talking about, like Christopher Columbus, and or when we were talking like, why all these things being hitting, or even in popular media, right? So I grew up in DR, Dominican Republic, right? And the way we view like Europeans, right? There's Dominicans out there, I shit you not, that look at Spain like the motherland, like that is, you know what I'm saying? Like there's monuments still to this day to Christopher Columbus, and even then, the way some people speak like about the white man is like you should be thankful. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way they taught us, like how Christopher Columbus discovered it, and they brought all this to us, like the way they teach us, right? So when about this, just like, you know what? You should be thankful to the white man. You know what I'm saying? Because most importantly, guess what they brought us? Salvation.
AIDS.
That in Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So when you come to the United States, right, you have a lot of people who be like, hey, just like, let's say I come home, like I'm distraught, like ma, you know what I'm saying? My teacher's being racist. Like, how you know he's being racist? Taking this shit personal. Not me, because my mother didn't play that shit. I'm just saying, if I was some basic guy, right? And they were like, oh, it's okay. You keep teaching them by getting straight A's. You take the punches to the face. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to bring attention to yourself. As a matter of fact, I don't know why the fuck you talking to me in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? I know people, right, where their parents speak only Spanish, right? Can't speak a lick of English. They can communicate with their kids because they brought them here, and so they can blend in and not get discriminated as much. They can only speak English, right? And then all this, right? Like Latinx people, especially Afro Latinos, got like the most self-hate because they trying to separate themselves so hard from the struggles. Like this is a running meme now. You hear a bunch of Dominicans. Me no black. I'm Dominican. I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like you are here like what was that? I was
So
gonna
they've
say-
absorbed all that self-hatred and they're perpetuating it with their children. Like, that's so sad, man.
Yeah.
That's rough.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White
And
supremacy is
colorism. There's
not.
tons of
Yeah,
colorism
it's bad
in
in
there.
Latin America. Bad.
And
Yeah.
so when you sit here, right, and we talk about that's why I asked Brother the question earlier about what will happen like back in the day when it comes down to bringing in like black characters and whatnot, like what we even support it, right? To me, honestly, I want to say that yes, I would love to support it, especially like if it's accurate. But there's also, I'm gonna be realistic. There's also another part of me that would have been like, nah, man, they're just trying to rope me in and whatever fucking activist bullshit. You know, like and again, full disclosure, that was dumbass. He wasn't even called Cypher back then. You know what
But
I'm saying?
there is, but there is some of that though. There is like performative, like virtue
Sure.
signaling. There, that is certainly a thing, especially with corporations where they just know that they're going to get paid by doing the bare minimum. But like, there's no actual genuine change. They're not giving jobs to people that need it, that are in those minorities. Exactly what Bled was talking about. Not just the characters, but like behind the scenes. And like, it's the same with like the queer minorities that like Ainsley G and I represent, where you can tell when something has been written by someone that doesn't have the experience or like hasn't done the research, and it feels gross. And that's why
It's
we won't
exploitative.
exploitative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what was so refreshing about seeing Birds of Prey, is that like throughout that movie you could tell it was written and made by women. Just little like, oh hey, the hair tie
thing.
just the hair tie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Like,
Yeah.
can y'all confirm something for me? Because this is something actually my wife and I watched Birds of Prey a little ways back, and it's something that we were kind of like noticing. We weren't sure if it was just us. Like, we were just hoping for the
Did you
best.
just pee on me?
But
Sorry.
I didn't think I could hear me.
We got to
He
change
did
that from King to R. Kelly. But no.
First of all, hold up, time out. Hold up.
There we go.
Don't you ever compare King Ori of the House of Cypher to that piece of shit. I said piece of shit.
That piece of shit.
R. Kelly. He may have had some bangers before, but we didn't know. We didn't. You're not R. Kelly.
But no, one of the things that me and my wife noticed about Birds of Prey was that if you go back and watch Suicide Squad, any scenes with Harley Quinn, the camera was always either focused on her chest, or on her ass. Like it was like those that like if it's on the front, it's like, oh, we're gonna center the camera. The focal point of the camera is gonna be on Margot Robbie's chest. All right. If we're looking at her from behind, the focal point is gonna be on her ass. And I noticed that in Birds of Prey, I was like, a lot of the focal points seem to be more on her face than anything else. Like, it wasn't like
She has a face.
I mean,
it's
she's
like,
like,
oh wait,
Outfit
You haven't
looks
seen it?
like
It's
something
beautiful.
a woman would
she has
actually
a
wear.
brain? What? Well, it's
she's worse too.
Well,
She has
it's
a
funny to
medical
me
degree.
that yeah, well, that's the thing. She's supposed to be like incredibly intelligent, like just like, dude, like why are we just focusing on what is arguably like? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like breast as much as the
I was gonna say, I
human
was
being, but it's the least interesting thing
I'm so
about
glad
Harley
you said
Quinn.
I was ready for some heat. The next what, bro?
me and Ainsley are like,
I mean, it's just one of those things. I'm looking at. I'm just like I want to know more about the character. I want to know what's going on with the character, what's going on in their heads, and like I don't know. I felt like a lot of the stuff that normally you wouldn't see in a movie, like it was there in Birds of Prey. That like and I get it. There's people who love it. There's people who don't like it. But I'm always just kind of like, you know what? It doesn't always have to be like the prototypical superhero movie for me. I dug it just because I was like, it's different.
Yeah.
And it felt like
it was fun.
It doesn't feel like this is a man trying to affect what women would want to see in a superhero movie, a comic book movie. This is actually a woman giving an actual like genuine. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. But I didn't know if anybody else got that same vibe.
No,
Like,
that's exactly.
I don't know
agree.
if it was intended to be
Mhm.
brilliant asexual representation, but the main motivator for a movie being losing a delicious sandwich, I think
Mhm.
is really great asexual representation.
Yes.
I was
That's what you're. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think there's a certain level of importance there too when it comes to this kind of stuff. Whether we're talking about Milestone or we're talking about Birds of Prey, I think what's important is, because I'm just gonna be honest with you, there's a lot of stuff when we talk about like woke culture or whatever the fuck that I'm like, yep, I see that. Oh, I see what they're doing. But I'm gonna be dead ass honest with you when it comes to queer stuff. When it comes to specifically, even if like heteronormative, like guy girl stuff, I watch Birds of Prey, and I'm like, I'm just watching like a straight up dumbass brain. I'm like, ha, that's cool, that's cool. Hey, sandwich, okay, that's cool. And then I get on Twitter, and there's somebody's like, let me show you how Margot Robbie wore her clothes in part one in this, and let me show you how she did it. And I'm sitting there like, oh shit! I saw none of that, right? Which is fair because that's not my world. Whereas
I think that's the marker of a good movie, right? Is like you can make it entertaining to the everyman, but then there's all these subtleties that are really important.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, that I know are
1000%.
speaking to you on a subconscious level. Like
Well-
people are saying that it affects people.
That's something I enjoyed, like with the new Reptile series, is like there's he open like just speaks Spanish and
favorite
it's not
comic book.
translated,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I do have to Google, but like I can do that.
Yeah, so I ended up with Reptile in my subscription box.
Is it Reptile? I have no idea how that series is pronounced.
I thought it
Which
was
is
reptile.
Reptile.
I thought
Wait,
it was
wait.
reptile.
Is it? There's at the end
Is it Rectile?
because he says Hispanic, and if there's no E at the end, then it's probably reptile.
Reptile?
Yeah, I think that. I don't think there's an E at the end.
There's no
I
E at
don't
the
believe.
end. It's
That's right.
REPTIL. But anyway, so I ended up with that book in my subscription box, and I'm looking through it, and I'm like, Stan, why did you put this? This isn't something that I actually almost took it back, but then I saw all of these, because my Twitter is pretty much just artists, comic people, and wrestlers, and all my comics people on Twitter were talking about, oh, this book was so good, and it was so refreshing, and this, and I'm like, okay. And then I saw certain people who were bitching about the fact that there was untranslated Spanish in it. Like, this is a book for me.
Right?
If it's pissing people off because there's one line of untranslated Spanish that wasn't custom tailored to some white person who has never had to deal with something not being made specifically for them in their whole lives, it's for me.
do you know what helps you translate Spanish if you're reading one of these?
Google.
Yes.
Right?
I actually don't have one of those. My flips.
Translate.google.com.
Well, no, okay, so yeah, I'm glad you said that because this is something I had a conversation. I think Cypher, maybe I think me, and I'm looking at that, you motherfucker. I think me, you, and Robo talked about this once before, where we were talking about Into the Spider-Verse, like the shots where Miles is talking to his mother in the movie.
When that won Best Picture at the Oscars
Yeah.
that year.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
well, that's
Oscar award winning
Yeah, that was Best
can we
Picture.
Into the Spider-Verse.
can we rewind that for a second?
Yes, I can go back
Box
in time.
office masterpiece, Oscar award-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse
Yes.
film. Thank you. That was my favorite thing about
Motion
it.
picture.
Was
Yes.
the Motion Picture Academy beloved. This is a masterpiece theater shit, I promise you. But I love the fact that when Miles and his mom are talking, there's no subtitles.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're saying to each other. However, because I'm an empathic person, I can vibe. I can read context clues. I have fairly somewhat decent detective skills. I'm not quite Batman, but I mean I can figure things out if you give me a second.
Do you eat pussy?
I can tell you, that's different. This is where Batman. See,
God
let me tell you something. There's a reason why. There's a reason why I actually am more likely to vibe with Joker because I get it now. I get it now why Joker has people ready to die for him because
Society,
Joker,
right?
he's right. It's because we live in a society.
I mean,
The Batman doesn't eat the cat.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
That's why he has those scars. Did y'all not know that?
Fucking
That was a cut
Oh,
line.
damn.
That was a cut line. Did y'all not get that in the Dark Knight?
Yeah.
That was
Oh, yeah.
like when he was licking the inside. He was like, you know, I got these scars
Wait, hold on.
because he was
Oh,
just
Rachel blowing up with a metaphor?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying. Look. Hey,
Fair warning.
look. Let me tell you something. Heath was licking the
Cannon.
inside of his mouth because look, that man literally just came from his trailer. Probably it was eating some cat. We don't know. I'm not trying to say what the man was doing with his spare time. But
He was
saying,
eating
So
we know we know what Christian Bale wasn't doing.
That's right.
I don't eat that.
I don't eat the cat because that's not what heroes do.
And I'm not right.
No, stop.
That's why I'm a villain.
Yeah, Jennifer's all over it. Blurred's got it. Context and body language is so much more than straight translation. That's exactly right. Yeah. And that comment you had up before, Saga, has a bunch of dialogue in Spanish and no one complains about. Sorry, Esperanto.
Yeah.
and no one complains about that, but make it Spanish, and then it's a problem. Yep.
Yeah.
But
That's
here's
exactly
the thing, though. Like, I think I have a theory about what's been going on because right now I've seen an influx on gatekeeping. Everybody's trying to gatekeep every form of entertainment, right? Whether it's either from women or by POC, right? And for example, right now, like in the anime world and especially the cosplaying world, there's a lot of racist shit going on because every time a black person cosplays a character, it's like he's not even black. Like, bitch, he's not even white. Shut the fuck
He ain't
up.
white.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Japanese.
you know what I'm saying? So then,
Yeah, but those are the same people that when you whitewash the live action anime, they're like, come on, it's just acting.
no,
That's right.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like, I'm over here. So every time there's a character, right, or somebody gets race swap or race bend. I don't know what's the correct term here, but or even gender bend, right? Everybody always loses their shit, right? Everybody loses their collective shit, and it's because we're seeing a transition here, right, where nobody wants to see the white savior anymore. No. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to see that story being told over and over again, and black people don't want to see. More specific, black people want to see the same movie made about them of some type of back in the day oppression. You know what I'm saying? Like every time they say like, oh, Black History Month,
Oppression porn.
oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to see that, right? So right now we're being reintroduced to characters who are melanated blessed, who bring more nuance to characters, or even that, like when it comes to LGBTQ representation and stuff like that. Like every time, for example, everybody always talks about, gay, they just pushing their agenda, their lifestyle onto me. I'm like, you know how many movies hetero characters just bang because they're both attractive? You know what I mean? Hey, main character guy,
Or have a forced heterosexual relationship just to sell tickets.
I got to springboard off of that. So what you hear all the time is, oh, stop changing these characters. Stop retconning them to this and that. You know, stop making these historically white characters black or these historically straight characters gay. But here's the thing. It's not being retconned. These characters were censored. You could not have black characters in comics in the 1940s. You could not have gay characters in comics in the 1960s. These characters were censored. Even as recently as when Chris Claremont took over the X-Men, he wanted Kitty Pryde to be bisexual. That's why he made Rachel her soulmate. And he was told, no, you can't do that. But he was literally censored just as recently as the 80s and the 90s. And so now we're in a position where we can revisit these characters who were forced to be white and straight and say, you know, maybe we should do something different with them.
Right.
It's been 80 years. Let's try something new.
The Comics Code Authority. The Comics Code Authority was terrible because the reason, like you said with Kitty, the same thing with Mystique and Destiny. They had to say, "Oh, they're partners."
Yeah.
What? They're not married.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
Yeah, they were roommates.
So I do want to.
No, sorry, I was gonna hop on what you were saying when it comes.
I just want to throw out something that was really clever.
Throw it. Hey, wake up, dude. She's gonna say
something that was really clever is Gambit was also supposed to be bisexual, and they told Claremont, no, you can't do that. So what does he do? This clever son of a bitch. I love Chris Claremont.
Say it again.
He takes one of Gambit's old buddies, Jacob Gavin Jr., who is a shapeshifter, has Jacob Gavin Jr. get stuck in a female body and has Gambit in a long-term relationship. Like, he proposed to Jacob Gavin Jr. And that's how he got around it. And I thought that was slick as hell.
Oh,
Yes.
it's beautiful.
Was that
It's
something
beautiful.
gay or hetero?
Get him.
I love it.
Would you be considered bisexual?
Should have made her big during that one. Just like, whoop.
Oh, definitely bisexual. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Well, would you, if your old buddy from years and years ago suddenly had, a ladylike body, he's
Rubble.
still a dude. If you
Get that process
fuck him,
What?
he's still a dude. So yeah,
Like-
that was the very subtle way for him to get around the censorship.
Yeah.
They did something similar with Iceman back in the day too. Iceman.
Oh
well,
yeah, with
I forget the
Cool.
character's name. It was. I hate myself right now for not remembering it, but there was a character that was introduced into the X-Men continuity who I think started out as a female character, but they had something that was going on with them that kept transforming them back and forth between being male and female. And it was during a time where that character was dating Iceman. And it's like, it is one of those things, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. Because it makes it too real. It makes them have to accept the fact that there was maybe possibly a plan in place.
Yeah.
Going
yeah.
even back in the 90s, I remember some offhand comments made in X-Men comics about Iceman that kind of implied that he was very possibly gay. And then like he becomes gay and then everybody's upset. And it's like, I know plenty of people who didn't realize that they were gay until they were like maybe in their 40s or 50s. How is it so difficult to believe that Iceman didn't know?
Yeah.
By the way, Family Guy predicted that.
It did. No, Family Guy did.
Yeah.
1000%.
I love that.
I'm kind of mad that I didn't even get why. Like, oh, I wonder what I thought she was gonna say something. Why didn't even make a No, I get it now. I'm just
Because
saying.
I didn't come out until I was almost 30.
That's it. I mean, it's exactly what G said. It's a journey. I just want to touch on these comments before I forget because I think they're important. Danny says, I recently bought the Lego Pride set because I like Legos. When I received the box, I noticed it was marked ages 18 plus. And let me tell you, it is not a difficult build. Shake my head, Lego.
Wow.
And then, Alex said, that's insane, Danny. Sketchy said, Rhea is correct. This just happened with hiring Rob Liefeld to draw a series where he has a history of homophobia and unprofessionalism. Also, bloody Warren Ellis back in it. Yeah.
Rob Liefeld
God.
is
Warren Ellis
hot
has to go.
trash.
He has to go.
Dunzo.
Yeah.
Apparently, he made a. By the way, no, we don't have to go on a tangent, but apparently he made a statement where it's like supposedly more a better statement, and I'm like, nah, come on, bro. Why? Because you announced Fell and everybody. Yeah.
We're
you announced
canceling your
Fell
comment?
and the whole internet's like, fuck you. He's like, okay, finally, okay. I'll apologize now. Fuck.
I think it's so tacky. Like, just disappear for a little bit and like at least let people forget. Like, make your amends and then take some time off.
Yeah.
Maybe
write a better apology too.
Yeah.
Right.
Show contrition to the nearly 100
I said
women
I'm sorry.
and non-binary people who came together to write a freaking website and took time to write a testimonial. And sit down, take a couple years to actually reflect and show actual contrition.
Right.
Not when you
Get
realize
therapy.
You have to be like,
Thank you.
throw
Men
your
will do anything except
considerable
get
weight
their-
behind a project that would bring attention to sexual assault in the
Right.
world. Like, do something. Use
That
your
would
power
actually
to
be the
do
ultimate
something
apology.
good. Yeah.
That would
I
be
agree.
the ultimate apology,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, if I like me personally, I like, and I don't like. There was a time I think it was when I was streaming and the news had broke about Warren Ellis, and I remember like in real time processing that, and I was just like, literally, I was just sitting here praising this man's work, and then I find out this stuff, and I'm just like. I don't even feel comfortable talking about your work anymore. I don't feel comfortable going back and rereading your work because now I know where it comes from. Like they always say separate the art from the artist, but I'm sorry, your art is a part of who you are.
That's right.
And like I'm now going back and I'm thinking about stories that you've written. I'm like, oh, maybe that's where that came from because you're a piece of shit.
That's right.
Dude,
and you're predatory.
Buffy now, or rereading the Buffy comic where Dawn.
Yeah.
Fuck Xander, who was supposed to be Joss Whedon. Like,
yeah, I see. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It makes it painful. Like I literally am just like, how can I enjoy my favorite thing?
Yeah.
That's right.
How can I enjoy what
I
used to be my favorite thing?
What you have, I think, if you want to reframe it better, like there's an opportunity to find new favorites. Like,
Yeah.
I
nice.
used to love Orson Scott Card, but like that guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So like, or J.K. Rowling, but like because I stopped reading their shit, I have been able to discover authors like N.K. Jemisin, who, by the way, is bringing some of the best representation in comics, and not telling.
Far
like, super
Sector
tragic
was
stories.
so good.
Yes.
Far Sector is a fucking hit. And if you have not read her prose, like I super recommend when How Long Till Black Future Month is like an excellent way to dip your toe into her writing.
She's fantastic.
What a good title.
I want to curl up.
That took a little bit to process, and I'm like, oh,
that
wow,
actually
that's
she
really
says
good.
in the acknowledgements. That title is stolen from my other goddess, Janelle Monáe, who is Joe. So
makes sense.
Like it comes full circle. Just like,
That's right. That's right. All right, Cypher, I got a question for you and your beautiful son. Can you look at him? He's so sweet. Hang on, I got a full screen.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at him.
The bubbies.
He's so cute. Okay, so if there is this Michael B. Jordan produced black superhero universe that takes off and it starts with Static Shock and then there's a whole bunch of other movies that we get, like what do you want to see? What do you want to see? I know you're talking about like nuance and like different stories and you don't want to see like a whole bunch of we used to be slaves type stories. Like
so this, you know what's crazy? I'm kind of embarrassed because so me and Robo have this conversation quite often, right? But a lot of times when we talk about, I always say what I don't want to see, right? A lot of times when it comes down to any type of origin story that involves, black people, Hispanic people, who like whatever, it always comes down to like there always some type of like the same cliche struggle. You know what I'm saying? Broken home, some ghetto area. You know what I mean? The first person they save is from some petty crime of somebody. You know what I mean? There's always somebody's close relative that's doing some,
stereotype.
It's all over the place. So, you know what I mean? A lot of times, like, we don't even know what actually, let me rephrase. Every time we see like a black person in some type of suburban area, it's usually in one of those teen love story movies and stuff like that. He's always the token black friend. You know what I'm saying? And then even the way he acts is just it's just such a forced script. I was like, hey, act like this. You know what I mean? And he's always some type of sidekick who I got.
Can you black it up?
Yeah, dead ass. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like, hey, man.
Do you like, hey, that one over there? I slept with her last night. She wants a little bit more.
Fuck Manny.
But anyways,
Manny.
It's come on, we in a post-apocalyptic world, and it's time to save you. Go, hey, how you doing, Sarah? Sarah too. Sorry.
So it was last night. She wanted some pozole. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, my point is, like, what I want to see is like, even when it comes down to like nuances, you know what I'm saying? Like this motherfucker that has to come from Section 8 welfare, like, man, my mom is working 3 jobs and I got a superhero up, but I also gotta go do this part-time my uncle's bodega because that's the expectation of me is, right? A lot of times when it comes down to it, that's why I like Into the Spider-Verse so much, because Miles wasn't just a black kid going to white school. He was an exceptional kid who got selected to go to this school. You know what I'm saying? He was a kid who wanted to hang out with his uncle because he admired his uncle, not because of his criminal activity. That's big. Because every time there's like some person they admire, is the person that gets them wrapped up in whatever illegal shit, is because like, I want to be a thug, like, big boy Willie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just enjoyed the company of his uncle because his father
uncle wanted to protect him from that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when it comes down to Into the Spider-Verse, right? Or even the game, right? Like in Miles Morales, like he looked up to Peter Parker, not because Peter Parker was the white savior to his Spider-Man. It's because he took him under his wing. Because so why does he have to go through what Peter Parker went through when he was a young Spider-Man? Because in this version, he's already been Spider-Man for several years. You know what I mean? So every time somebody asks me like about what I want to see, I can't think of anything because I never like, well, I've barely seen like, and I hate to use this word, but a regular portray you know, that the P word with the portrait, right, of a melanated person, and you know what I mean, is always somebody like, hey, yeah, man, when I was 3, my uncle Benjamin died in a drive-by. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, word, a drive-by. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something that I can relate to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Give Static regular issues. You know, regular teenage issues. You know what I'm saying? So much so, I'm gonna say something real controversial. I haven't got a chance to say. Everybody seen Invincible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We all know that old girl in the comics was white, not black.
No, Amber. Yeah.
Amber, right?
Amber. Yeah.
So the creator of the show says that they try to maintain everybody as realistic as possible. But Amber, in compared to the comics, thanks to Blood, I actually read it. She was annoying as fuck in the show, right? Like she was more upset that my man was a superhero than, you know what I mean, than anything else. Like in the comics, she was worried that he was a drug dealer, not upset, not annoyed. She was worried that he was doing illegal shit. Where her was like it was so like, and I hate to say like the traditional angry black woman and shit like that, that it just became like she became annoying. You know what I mean? And I'm over here like, really? That's what y'all gave her? Like, not the fact that he lied to her. So much so that if we watched the episode before that, she had no, like when she asked who's that when Invincible came and saved him and his homie, and then all of a sudden it's like, I always knew you was him, but you lied to me. And I'm like, really?
Robert Kirkman is not the
say it.
best when it comes to handling female characters in
Mission.
However, I definitely will say that that's actually probably the one problem I did have with Invincible as far as like Amber was concerned, is the fact that like they played the whole I always knew, but then like she had like genuine surprise on her face when
That's right.
it's like which one is it? Pick one, because now I want to be behind what you're trying to do here. But
yeah,
I
actually didn't have a problem with the way they, you know, I've heard both the thing. I think that continuity error where you were confused last episode. How are you not like? That is something annoying. But I actually didn't have a problem with the way that she was like that, and I think it's a little bit of projection. Where I'm imagining like my wife is a superhero, and I'm super butthurt that she doesn't tell me about it, and I'm like. And she comes in, I got something to tell you. I almost died. Like, you're mad at me? Like, yeah, I am actually. I'm Wonder Woman. Like, yeah, I know. You didn't fucking tell me though. Like, so me and Amber, like, we're both annoying the same way. So I get it.
No. Actually, that's different. That's completely different. Oh. Because she wasn't mad because he didn't tell him. She went because he was ditching her. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, in the two situation was she was just angry because she wasn't the center of attention. You know, not because of his secret. You know what I mean?
I didn't get it like that, but it makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, so overall, when it comes down to going back to Reese's question, like I have a whole laundry list of shit that I don't want to see because I've already done seen it. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna give me a character, you know what I mean, who is, you know, who's black, who has, you know, don't give me the traditional or cliche black struggles. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me that bullshit. Just write the character. You know what I mean? That is relatable with the same nuances that fucking. You know, I don't know, Josie Smith. I don't know, like Kyle. I don't know white names anymore.
Case in point, like what was it that movie Karen that they just put the trailer out for? Like, why can't I just have a regular black horror movie where like the black people go in the house and the house is haunted and some crazy ghost or monster or serial killer or demon or whatever is trying to kill them? Why does it have to be the monster? It's like, okay, check this out. So I got this movie, right? These black people, they move into this new neighborhood, but guess what? There's a killer on the loose, and the killer is racism.
Yeah. He's gonna make them slaves.
Social commentary. God,
I have an answer for that. I actually have the answer for that.
Make
And
it
that is
big now.
because these movies are being made for white consumption. It's being made for white people to go and watch Black trauma and consume it and then pat themselves on the back for not being
not the monster.
that bad.
You're not the monster.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
Look at what these poor
See what
black people
racism
have to
is?
go
I'm
through.
not that.
Yeah.
I
That's why.
understand.
Porn for whiteys. Yeah.
Did you see that movie? I don't do stuff like that.
You know
I've
what?
never
I
seen
let my black
Black
Be
people
person
murder them and wear their face? Yeah. That's what racism is.
Hey, you know what's crazy? You can tell those people are, they watch the movie when they go to whatever like restaurant, whatever like local business, and they see a black person and be like, they
Let's
say
talk
that.
about
Thank
Get
you.
Out, though. I love that Get Out.
Oh, I mean,
Now talk about the comment. Go ahead.
okay.
I heard you too.
No, okay, I appreciate it. You usually ignore my text, so drama.
Yes.
Stop, don't do this in front of people.
I know. Come on, King is already tired of your shit.
Dude.
What about what other people want to see?
Oh yeah. So Blurred. I'm gonna throw it around to Ains and G after this. But Blurred, what do you want to see from like a milestone universe?
I want to see. Okay, so this will be easy. Of course, I want to see the stuff that we expect. So I'm not gonna say Static. I'm not gonna say Icon and Rocket. I'm not gonna say Hardware. I want to see the other representation that that Milestone had that a lot of people don't talk about. I want to see stuff like the Blood Syndicate. I want to see which for a lot of people who don't remember old like OG Milestone, the Blood Syndicate was a team that was mostly Puerto Rican, Dominican, Muslim, Korean, Chinese, all over the place with representation. Just crazy.
Sweet.
It was literally like playing representation bingo. There was a lot of Afro-Latin representation. There was trans representation. There was gay representation, lesbian representation. It was all over the place. Comic just literally, like, honestly, I want this to happen because it would literally make the people who like to say, "Oh my God, this is so woke. Oh my God, if you get woke, you're gonna go broke." I want that crowd.
Make $1 billion.
Is that why I'm broke?
I want
woke as
Blood
fuck.
Syndicate to come out. You know what I want? I want Blood Syndicate to be a thing because mostly because I know that Reggie Hudlin and Dennis Cowan really want to bring that comic back, but also because I want this to be a movie because I want people to see so much representation on the screen that it literally fucking makes their heads explode. That they have to, and I want it to be good. I want it to be so good. I want it to be like just phobic proof. Like, even people who are homophobic, transphobic, racist, whatever, I want them to go to that movie and see it and be like,
they gotta lie to say they don't like it.
Yes.
Like, that's what I want. I want to make
don't
that
agree
face.
with your lifestyle, but
Like when they find out, that one of the characters is actually trans, and they're like,
Yeah.
they made me like this character. I can't wait.
Already, damn it!
Ooh, dude, or like when they find out that one of the
movie.
most powerful characters in the entire team is a Muslim. I want people's heads to explode because I want people to see that, like Stanley always said that, like, the comics should represent the world outside your door. I feel like all media as a whole should do that. And Blood Syndicate is so perfect at that. It just, like, I want to see, matter of fact, I want Ethan Van Sciver to see it and love it and then try and figure out a way to lie and say it's the worst movie ever.
No, I mean, if we're doing that, we might as well just call Spike Lee while we at it, just so that's some dazzle, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Spike, what you doing?
G, what's your dream? What do you want to see in this universe?
I like your hair color, by the way.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. I like your face.
Thank you.
Yes.
Not many people like it.
I don't believe that at all.
No, I was fishing for a compliment. Thank you. Go ahead.
Gorgeous.
Like,
You're
I'm
gorgeous.
brand new to Milestone. My only experience is like my partner really likes Static Shock, so I've seen the stuff on DC or HBO. So like I want good stories. Like I want to find new authors that like I can buy their entire body of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want new
Nice.
stuff. I also want more of superheroes pooping and accidentally triggering their powers.
That has to be in the movie, by the way. That has to be in the movie.
So Glynis gave me. Glynis was so prepared and gave. Oh, sorry, G was so prepared and gave me like a whole bunch of images, and I cannot use them because of my crap internet right now. If I touch anything,
Oh, you
on
should
the
have gave
computer.
it to me. I would have thrown them up.
Yeah, I know. Next time I'll be more prepared, but this time I'm just. If I do anything other than this on my laptop, it freaks out. So just imagine this panel of this dude taking a shit.
What is it?
Yeah.
Tell me where it's from. I can do this super fast. Go.
It's from
It's in the chat.
Milestone
It's in the
Returns.
group chat.
What is it?
It's in the Proud or Die chat.
Hey, keep talking to him. He gets distracted easily.
Fine. We're trying to see the picture. What's wrong with you?
That's right.
Milestone
G-
returns what?
G put it in the chat.
Oh,
G put it in the chat. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Hang on. Here we go.
yeah, we
That's
should do that. That's dope.
Hey.
Oh yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
By the way,
It has to happen way more times. Like Iceman just completely messed up the whole entire pipe system because he's pissing out ice.
hey.
Oh my God. Yes.
By the way, that's how Hank Schrader discovered that Walter White was Heisenberg in Breaking Bad. I'm just saying.
What?
What?
Breaking Bad.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
From shitting too hard?
Yeah, he was taking a shit. Then he found out the last remaining clue, and he was like, "Holy shit!"
Oh
He's
yeah.
Heisenberg. I'm just saying though, we should bring that trend back.
Shitting
I
equals
like that none of us even gave
revelation.
courtesy laughs. We were just like, what?
What?
Explain yourself. Most people would be like, haha, that's right. And then ask you off air. But no. What's going on right now?
What?
Hey, hold up. See, that's how I didn't get embarrassed. You know, I got ice in my veins.
Nice.
That's it. That's it. Hey, I got one last topic for us to run through, right? Which is the Represent series from DC. It is designed to showcase and introduce creators traditionally underrepresented in the mainstream comic book medium, highlighting both new and familiar voices. So it's an anthology series. I think, is there like 14 or 15 or 16 issues or something out now?
7.
Yeah, I was going to say, and DC Infinite is definitely 7.
Okay,
I have DC Infinite, but I'm somehow waiting for the collected editions. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh,
Okay.
no, that makes sense.
I have no idea what we're talking
I've
about.
seen more on
Represent.
Kindle, but maybe So Represent is what it's called. But the idea is it's an anthology series. Each issue, yeah, there it is. Hang on, I'll make you big.
I took it quite literal.
Yeah, there it is. There it
Yeah.
is.
Like represent.
It's beautiful. You would like it, Cypher. It's like anthology, so like each story is told by a different creative team, and they're all like, it's all the art is like fire. It's really, really good. But the first story is called "It's a Bird," and it's by Christian Cooper, who's a former Marvel editor. And
He's also
had,
the guy that woman called
That's
the
right.
cops on in Central
The
Park.
story is about him.
Right?
That's it. So this is a like
God.
fictionalized version of his
It's a good
experience
turn.
where
You can't
he was
touch
in
it.
Robo,
Central
find
Park.
the picture from this too.
Yeah, Robo, go.
Did you put it on the drive anywhere? I can just pull it up right now.
Yeah, it's in the
Oh, they
drive.
are.
See, he got distracted.
I was never told. But you stop.
Like, this was such a
I
strong
miss you, Robo.
opening for this.
Such a strong opening. So like the idea is he gets gifted this pair of binoculars from his like Korean war vet father, this character, and he's told that the binoculars have special powers, and when he looks through them he sees all these people of color that have been murdered by law enforcement or like basically just murdered for having a fucking different skin color. And when he encounters this woman with her dog, so he's bird watching or twitching or whatever you call it, and he encounters this woman whose dog is chasing after birds about to eat it, and he's like, you need to leash your dog, there's signs everywhere. And so she calls the cops on him, and that was based on a real life experience that he had. so fucked up, but like so important to talk about, and the art is so powerful. It feels, I was saying to the chat, like it feels like a punch to the gut. Yeah, there it is right there.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's fucking Karen McGee having a yell saying like, I'm going to call law enforcement and say that African American threatened me, or whatever it is that she says in the book.
Mhm.
And you see behind him there, I don't know if you can zoom in or not on that
shit.
top bit, but
That's dope.
enhance. There it is. See how he's got all these like ghosts around him?
Mhm.
Yeah, so they're like all people of color that have had their lives taken needlessly by law enforcement.
One of them kind of I don't know how I never caught this before, but one of the ones at the top, kind of like just to the left of the word bubble, looks almost like George Floyd.
I think that's
That is
I think it is.
George Floyd.
Yeah,
think
I don't know if that's
I
like
think it is.
intentional or not,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I think
yeah,
so,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the right is Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say,
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Dude, that is, oh my god,
It's powerful,
yeah.
man.
It's powerful,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Let me go to Amazon real quick. Robo, I'm gonna need your help with this one.
He's like,
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
should-
need your credit card number. And, yeah,
I was like, what kind of have you talking about?
I'm gonna need your Amazon Prime login. And
That's all I need.
Anyone that wants to buy it, it's called Represent. It's from DC Comics. Like there's physical versions. Obviously, G held it up before that you can get now. Started off digital. The quote from the Cooper that wrote the first one is, I hope young people in particular read it because I want them to be inspired to keep the focus where it needs to be, which is on those we have lost and how we keep from losing more. I wish this story could have been that punctuation of we all lived happily ever after, but it just keeps coming.
That's right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's excellent. I wish it was required reading for kids in school.
Mhm.
Well, shit.
yeah.
Shit. We're ways from.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Uh,
that's critical race theory, and it's ruining our
It's
country.
like,
We've
You know-
finally gotten less To Kill a Mockingbird and more The Hate You Give. So, like, I am
Mhm.
pleased about that. At
Yeah.
least you have
Yes.
actual Black people authoring the books you're using to teach about race instead of two old dead white people.
Yeah.
true. True.
Wait,
with,
is
with the last name
Kill a
Wasowski.
Mockingbird lady might not be dead. Sorry.
I have to look it up.
I mean, it's been like
Wait,
what,
now I'm
70 years?
curious too. I'm like, wait a minute, I need to see. I was like, wait a minute. Kill a
Yeah, I liked all the Represent books a lot actually. That first one was really powerful. I would say to me the first and the
very
last
dead. Very dead.
I was about to say though, like,
one, super dead.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Gregory Peck is dead. He played old boy in the movie, so I
Oh,
can't imagine
Who we
lady.
find out in the sequel is hella racist. So, like,
Oh,
kill your
man.
childhood heroes.
There you go.
Nice.
Atticus is racist as hell.
Wait,
That's
what?
right.
Wait, who's racist?
The father from
Atticus.
To Kill a Mockingbird, you find out in the
Mhm.
sequel that like he's racist.
There's a
as
sequel?
hell. Yeah, there's a sequel.
How come, how come
Go
that
Set
shit?
a Watchman.
To
How come that
bury
shit
a
wasn't-
mockingbird.
How come that shit wasn't in my required reading? I'm over here like, damn.
Go Set a
Damn,
Watchman
hold-
like just came out in like 2019.
Yeah,
Got it.
it was. Yeah,
Gotcha.
And then
God
she
damn it.
must have died.
yeah. She died right after the book came out.
Well,
Wow.
hey, at least you got it done. At least you're not like Sue Grafton, who left one letter left in her series.
Oh, man.
She did the like A is for whatever. She had a murder series like anyway. Which I think is so like I love that it never got finished. That's excellent.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah, they wanna-
it's better. I don't know. Like,
Dude, like-
bloody.
If there's a classic and it's been out for like decades and there's
Hey,
a
if you get
sequel,
down,
I'm
you
looking
can't
at
get
you,
back
Margaret
in.
Atwood. Don't fucking read the sequel.
Hey.
Oh, okay. So question with that, right? When it comes down to I don't want to say ruining the character, right? Because a lot of times when it comes down to like any anime is popular with this, right? Where like there's always some type of betrayal from the character you least expect or some shit like that, right? Do you guys think that like actually hurts the overall message, or could that lead into some more powerful commentary? Because it's not the first time that somebody. I mean, Captain America's famous Hell Hydra shit. I mean, yeah, that was horrible, but can you guys think of exceptions where that could have worked in and actually further any plot line or?
So Robo and I had a discussion with Judah about this recently around like what is canon. And it was a really interesting conversation. And we actually touched on this last episode as well, because there are lots of things where I'm like, sorry?
No, nothing. Don't mind me.
I
think out loud.
Yeah, well, if you said Watchmen, I was going to mention that too, because like before Watchmen, we all agreed was pretty terrible, but then the Watchmen series was excellent. So like there are things that you can do which really add to the property, and there are things I think that can diminish it. But then art is so subjective that it's like, how do you determine which is which and who's getting what from what? I don't know. It's a really fascinating thing to think about and discuss, but I don't think there's any one black and white answer on it.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's just my opinion. I don't know if anyone disagrees. Ainsley, what do you think?
Yes.
Hey, Angela, can you do me a favor in your explanation? Can you like somehow incorporate the word gorgeous in there? Okay, thank you.
That's your note.
It is really subjective, because there are certain things that I look back on characters, because you get all these different writers who are doing stuff with the property and it's been around for so long, and they all have their own opinions about what this character should be like, what they should do. And there are certain things that I just look at and I go, I really don't think so. That doesn't sound like this character at all. Emma takes over Storm's body and goes and has sex with someone. I'm like, Emma is a victim of rape, and she absolutely would not. No. So I look at something like that, and I'm like, well, that's just not canon for me. That never happened. So yes, there.
Sorry, that was a loud laugh.
I think that's fair, though. I think that's actually incredibly fair. There's certain things that are not canon.
Yeah,
they're not canon to me.
Yeah,
like they don't exist to me.
I think that when a writer does something incredibly stupid, we should be allowed to ignore it.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I mean, because like I think there's a hierarchy of like who gets the say, and like writers I think are the easy ones to put up there, but like without the fans, the writers are superfluous. So like if collectively we as fans decide like this is terrible, we're ignoring it, like any Runaways not published by Brian K. Vaughan or Rainbow Rowell, then like that's the decision.
Yeah. Someone was saying this to me on Twitter recently. They're like, this is a point that I agree with to a point, right? I'll explain myself. They're like, artists should be able to create what they want. Yes, I agree. There shouldn't be limitations, but if they want to charge for it, they should. That's when the criticism is totally acceptable and should be encouraged. Critique should be encouraged. That's why
whatever you want. We don't have to consume it.
That's right. Yep, that's right. So
that's why I don't read Rob Liefeld books.
Yeah, that's right.
And look, there is a was it the November the 30th anniversary of X-Force? Yeah, when that comes out, I'm not going to be talking about it on my channel because fuck Rob Liefeld.
Nice. Yep.
Actually,
see, I'm
what it is.
Rob Liefeld. No one
shut up,
fuck
Rob Liefeld.
Like, can we get that? I want to have like I feel like maybe someone will make this because I'm lazy and I don't have the time. But if someone like you ever watch the movie Super? Where the guy's like, shut up, crime. I want him to have that, but shut up, Rob Liefeld.
There's a dedicated Facebook group for only telling Rob Liefeld to shut up.
There's a dedicated Instagram account that all this person does is post that's shitting on Rob.
It's literally a group where we just tell Rob Liefeld to shut up.
You see,
who the fuck is Rob Liefeld?
Exactly.
I'm legit asking.
Yeah, that wasn't
no one you need to know about.
That wasn't a diss. Like Rob Liefeld, who?
Look,
someone that can't draw feet and hands. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Wait.
But it's awesome at Captain America chests.
Drew the worst Captain America I've ever seen.
Faces.
Yeah. Actually, Robo, I wonder if you can find the Rob Liefeld Captain America to throw up, because I just want to show.
Where his chest is like.
He's the guy who everyone's face looks like Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
Like literally, his claim to fame is Deadpool. His claim to fame is Deadpool. That's it.
Yep.
And Fabian Nicieza is the one who wrote him. Like, nobody would have given a shit of this character who just looked like a friggin'.
We interviewed Fabian, and he was very clear that He was very clear that he's a co-creator.
Yeah, he
Well,
gets the credit for
Actually,
that.
I remember reading something somewhere where Fabian actually said that when Rob Liefeld, oh God, it's ugly.
There it
Oh
is.
God,
Damn.
Sorry,
yeah.
are you
Oh.
seeing this?
Uh,
Lord.
wow,
God damn.
bruh,
It's major.
bruh.
That's. Oh
I know,
man,
it's not
body
me.
goal. Body
This
goal,
ain't
man.
Yes.
Dude, what is
There
up
it
with your
is.
man's chest?
Bro.
Wait. I
His chest
have a
His
legitimate
chest has
question.
abs.
I have a legitimate question though. Why? No, Robo, pull back up that last image. Pull that back up. I have a question. Why is my man's doing the thing that like Psylocke and various other women used to do back in the 90s? Remember how back in the
tits
90s
and the
where
face and the
women-
ass.
Right, like they would
Yeah.
pose this way. You could see both titties and both butt cheeks.
Yeah.
They were
All at
both
once.
facing the
that hurt.
reader
Yeah.
while their body was turned sideways. Like, why is he doing that? I have questions.
Hey,
proportions.
hey,
Hey,
He
that's
man.
wants
fair
to show off
play.
his chest abs.
Men,
Yeah.
men can thirst trap too.
Any
Actually, you know what? I want to
picture where I
complain about
can't see-
unrealistic. This is setting unrealistic expectations. For men,
humans?
I don't
For my-
appreciate it.
for my
For humans,
Hey. First of all,
why does he have no trapezius muscles? I have questions.
bro, his trapezius muscle got replaced by his real deltoids. I want you to think about that.
Bro, if you can't set a plate on your upper chest muscles, then you don't have chest muscles.
You know, this is really
Dude.
sad because he can literally not sleep face down.
No,
You know what
he
I'm saying?
can't. Like
I'm-
his head would be like 2 feet off the bed. Like he tried to lay on his chest. He would just like be like, oh shit, I'm just gonna like teeter totter here on the
Like-
bed.
That's it.
a memory foam mattress is literally his worst enemy.
Dude, oh my god.
Like, I want you. God damn.
If you
Someone
see
write
Captain
that.
America laying face down in a memory foam mattress, please go get help.
By the way, hey. On a positive note, my body dysmorphia is completely cured.
Hey.
Thanks, Rob Liefeld.
I was like,
Oh man. Okay, I think we're getting close to wrap up time, bruh. He's built like a fridge. Alex is so funny. I love this shit. His head is the metaphorical box of Cheerios on the top of your fridge. I'm done.
Hey, I've got one thing that I want to say about
I like you too.
the milestone
Oh.
relaunch that I really appreciated. So, confession time. I never read Static Shock. I was like, I won't get into it. Oh, my god, there it is.
Oh my god.
Hello.
wait a minute. 2 things. He's actually big boned.
That's what big.
I
Bone
didn't
means.
think that was real.
But hold on. Look, he has an extremely wide pelvis, but yet no booty. Like
that
it's
tiny
literally
gray
caved
box?
in.
Hank Hill butt.
Like
Is the tiny gray box supposed to be his penis?
Wait.
Yeah.
well, it's where men
So's that
store their
face right
The
penis.
there.
middle image has the grossest dick I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
I don't even know who that is. Oh, that's Rob Liefeld.
Dude, wait a minute.
Oh, geez.
Why is my man's got the flattest ass?
That's
what I'm saying,
he got the Hank Hill butt. He got that chicken butt.
That's what I'm saying though. Like
God.
my man, like, yo, that's like the worst Hot Wheel raceway
No
ever. You know what I'm
sweat.
saying? Like,
Because if he had a
on.
cute butt, then every guy out there would be like, I'm not gay.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
right.
no,
That's
so
right.
I
Go on,
want
Ainsley.
to
Sorry
touch
to
on like,
interrupt.
that's fine. It's fine.
he got the
I was-
booty, dude.
That was worth it. No, so I did not read Static. I only know Static because of the animated series. But what I did read was Icon and Rocket. And so Icon and Rocket, it came out in 1993.
Mhm.
And in that first issue, they meet when Raquel goes with a group of friends to rob a house. And I remember her wanting to sell the stuff off Oh, nice. Because she wanted to buy a typewriter, like Toni Morrison, because she wanted to be a writer. And reading the Milestone relaunch number 0, I really loved that they included the detail of she wanted to break into this house and sell this stuff so that she could buy a typewriter. It was a different reason, a different justification for it, but that was a nice touch. And I thought that it was a great detail. It was an homage. It says, we know what we're talking about. We read this stuff. We know this stuff. We're not going to let you down. So I've got nothing but faith in this upcoming series.
Would you say that it will be a gorgeous series?
It's going to be gorgeous.
Yes.
Yes.
Someone clip it. Someone clip it. All right, I'm going to do the around the world. Blurred, what have you got to promote? What do you want people to check out on your channel? Where can they find you?
Oh my God. You can find me at YouTube. I can't talk. YouTube.com.
How do you type YouTube?
Like you gotta go
R-P-P-P-P-P-P-P.
When you get to the dot, you just go. You just do a bunch of random letters.
He's struggling to say that. Like, you just I mean, I'm not drunk, you know.
Hey, I'm not drunk. Actually, I have no excuse. YouTube.com/Blur Without Fear. You can catch me on there. I actually just dumped a ton of videos today. I do character breakdowns. I talk about characters of color, characters from marginalized groups, just a little bit of everything. I also do regular videos about X-Men and Venom and Hulk and various other characters. I try to break down the comics and kind of help you figure out the connections to whatever other connections there are. And and I stream every Saturday. 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do the Blurred Cave, where I'll probably be talking about Shang-Chi and the recent trailer.
Yes. So excited to hear about that.
Was that Fing Fang Foom or what? Was that?
I don't think it's Fing Fang Foom. I don't think it is.
That is so fun.
Only because of a toy leak. I'm not saying that because I'm smart. I'm saying it because it was a toy leak.
Okay.
And the toy was a white dragon, so that's the only reason I'm like,
damn, they whitewashing Fing Fang Foom?
Dude, right?
Hey,
look,
hold
they
up.
get it to the ancient one. I mean, the Fing Fang Foom is next.
I'm not joking, bro. Like, they really threw Tilda Swinton in that bitch and be like, she's Asian.
Yeah, true.
She's Asian.
True. Hey, Cypher, what about you? What have you got going on? Where can people when I say where can people find you, it sounds so creepy, but where can people find you online?
Where can people want to sleep?
First of all, so I answered the question, one, Ree knows exactly where to find me. You know what I'm saying? She's the one that ghosts me all the time. Well, that's weird. And second, I'm at Cypher World, both Twitch and YouTube. However, I've been a bit inactive. I promise I'm picking everything up this week. You know what I mean? My life is unshambling itself as we speak. And so I'm a gamer. I talk about everything gamer related, gaming news, and also I'm a huge weeb. And check out Cypher World.
Yes. Robo, do you want to do a quick promo for whatever you got going on?
Yeah, well, most of the people are on the channel. We're here. This is I Freaking Love Comics. We just interviewed Tom. Yeah, we're at a 2-hour mark. I don't know how people do this for. Just fucking Google my name. I don't give a fuck. No, I'm just kidding. We just interviewed Tom Brevoort. So I'll be editing that. We'll probably post that tonight. But also, I guess one of us got to do it. Starting in July, we're going to be hitting up the Melanated timeline again. It is a Twitch. You remember that?
Can I refer you to my life in dude? I cry to you all the time. You're like,
so
your shoulder
check
must
us
be
out.
my tears.
Look up the Melanated timeline on Twitch. We're going to be picking that back up. And so you know how like Ree, Ains, and G do this thing from what is it, an intersectional perspective. Well, we do like pop culture stuff from a Latino and a Afro-Latino perspective on there. So if you're here because you're Blurred's homie, click like and subscribe because we are also coupling people and we're basically an interview channel. But also check out the Melanated timeline.
Yes, it's real good. G, where can people find you if they want to check out more of what you have to say?
Okay, well, you could come talk to me in IFLC book lovers. And also sometimes I stream, but I haven't been this week because I had to finish my book, which I did. So I'll be streaming again. But can I use my time and talk about one of the stories from Represent? Because you
Yes.
should
Of
read
course.
Believe You.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you are a woman, you should fucking advocate for yourself when you're at a doctor's office.
Oh,
And
yeah.
not let them
Oh wow,
like,
Mylene
ignore-
loved that.
Yeah,
She
That
doesn't
like, I
like
did
story
not
was
books.
expect
so
that,
good.
and that is such a fucking important message
Yes.
because if you are a woman and particularly woman of color, you get ignored at a doctor's office. Like you know it.
So
So
people
yeah, like
that
bring
haven't
a
read it, the
friend.
story is she's a mother of two. She keeps like getting all these weird symptoms, like she's falling asleep when she shouldn't be falling asleep. She gets like lesions on her skin. She gets swelling. She goes to the doctor, and the doctor keeps telling her like, "Oh, it's all
Stress.
psychological. Yeah, it's
You're
stress.
just a woman. Try
You're a
not fucking so
hypochondriac."
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sends her to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist says like, "I think this is legitimate. You should go to one of my chronic disease." Doctors that can figure out if you have a diagnosis, got a diagnosis at the end. But the only way that she made that happen was listening to her mother's advice, like G said, pushing for her own health, because if she'd listened to what the supposedly medical professional had told her in the beginning, she'd still be suffering.
If your medical provider will not listen to you, find a new medical provider.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
yell at them.
Yeah.
It's their fucking
That's a really
job.
good one.
You know
to
what's
bring
crazy
up.
though? I'm not even trying to be funny. We were actually going through a simulation, situation
Both.
very similar to that, where a very close person to me was experiencing some pain, and then they had the family had to push and basically press the doctors and stuff, and they finally got a diagnostic and they're getting treatment now. But not to put this person's business out there, but that shit was like fucking serious and scary to almost to the point where it was getting so bad that we were going to go to the Dominican Republic to see the doctors there to get a proper diagnosis, and these doctors kept saying it's nothing, and it turned out to be something extremely serious.
Yep.
So yeah.
Wow.
Odd tie-in from Alex. Angelina Jolie just went on a public rant regarding her Ethiopian daughter's medical care and how she is treated. So like as a woman, I can tell you like I've experienced this, and I cannot imagine what it's like as a woman of color to go to the doctor and be like, "I'm sick," and they just don't listen to you. Like it's like you don't know your own body, or you don't
genuinely think that you can't feel pain like a white person.
Right. Yeah.
95%
They're
of
taught that.
doctors
They're
believe
taught that
that.
shit.
Yeah.
There is statistics. If you do your own research, if you look online, there's all these stories
Research
around.
happens at the library, not on your
That's
computer.
right.
Just for the
Yeah,
record.
that's right. So I've been reading about in medical trials, they only use like the tiniest percentile of people of color in testing for different medication and stuff. So they do not actually know the effects that it has on, to use Cypher's word, like melanated people. And that's why when they get various symptoms, they're like, oh, it must just be in your head. When in reality, it's them not testing properly for people of color.
Mhm.
You know, like it happens all the time everywhere. There's discrimination and systemic racism in everything. So like, just, use your brain and wake up, sheeple.
No.
No, not. God damn, she said it.
Sorry.
Love it.
Okay, I still love you.
That was a really good. I'm glad you brought that up, G, because I think that's really important. But Ainsley, what about you? Where can people talk to you?
I'm mostly hanging out in the IFLC Marvel and DC groups on Facebook. It's still June for a couple more days. I've been posting literally nothing but queer content. Even when June is over, I will still post a lot of queer content because I'm.
Hey, don't apologize. Don't apologize.
Hey.
Don't
No,
apologize.
no
Excited
apologies.
for all the
No.
fragile men in my Star Wars meme groups to realize I'm not just posting the gay shit because it's June.
Yeah. Wait a minute. It's August. It's
Todd ain't
October.
gonna stop from July.
Oh, guys, this was so fun. Wait, can we get a quick goodbye from the puppy? 1 sec.
All right, King. What can they find you? Shitting in my carpet.
Oh,
Oh,
shit. There you go.
so cute.
Bro,
This
we
was
gotta
so
get so many
fun.
subscribers.
Yes.
Hold on. Let's see if we can
Oh.
get this up on here. This is
Yeah.
from G.
Normalize
I just-
platonically telling your bros they look submissive and breedable.
just to close the loop from the start of the show to now. So
Beautiful,
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
thank you so much to our guests for being here today and donating so much of your time. And both of you look very, all 5 of you look very breedable.
Yes.
and you. Aw.
Hold on. I'm not gonna say you look breedable because I want this things to be misconstrued. But to quote Ainsley, you're gorgeous.
God.
Yeah. Thank
gonna
you,
bring
chat, for
cake?
being here. Yeah.
First of all, no, I don't want no heifer near my dog.
Hey, if you're in the chat,
Yeah.
thanks for being here. Drop us a like. Subscribe to all our guests because they're great. And we'll see you hopefully next week.
And Dakota,
Peace.
preheat the